It's really a pleasure to be back here at International Trade, so thank you so very much. Um, just a few comments here. So first and foremost, I remember all the time that we spent on Kuzma and all the discussion around softwood lumber and how we were going to keep that out of Kuzma. And I do recall the deputy minister, I'm sorry, Deputy Minister Freeland, coming to committee, and subsequent to that, four conservatives actually wrote an open letter to her and gave her a couple of questions or suggestions. So I'm wondering, and this is quoted from the letter that I personally signed. It said, "Further, we recommend that you appoint a panel of experts to evaluate softwood lumber products not included on the export control list, including finished wood products under codes 4407 and 4409." And I'm wondering if any of the witnesses could perhaps enlighten me and tell me if that expert panel has happened and or if the government is part of that.
Thank you very much for that question, honourable member. Madam Chair, I think I may once again turn to Mr. Barker because I'm not aware of that.
Hello, I thank you for the question. I'm not aware of a specific expert panel that's been formed to look at those particular HS codes, but we do work on behalf of specialty product producers. And in fact, we did have a recent victory for cedar shake and shingle producers where we were able to get their products excluded from the duty orders completely recently, working closely with the industry on that. So that was one recent victory where we were able to exclude an entire category of products from the duty orders.
Thank you, Mr. Barker. Madam Chair, through you to either witness, please. A little bit disconcerting for me when I heard the minister say that they're looking at other opportunities, such as Australia, so offshore. To either witness, does that mean perhaps that there's really no hope for the Canada-US softwood lumber agreement? And if they could perhaps expand on that and let us know if they have personally got direction from the minister's office or the prime minister's office to look for other opportunities for Canadian lumber.
Well, thank you very much for that question, honourable member. Madam Chair, the United States is the largest single market for Canadian softwood lumber exports, and I expect that it will remain so. And we will work very hard to reach an agreement to remove these unwarranted tariffs from Canadian softwood lumber exports. But I think we work hand in hand also to look for other markets for Canadian softwood lumber and forestry products to export to. So I'm talking about markets in Asia and markets in Europe. So maybe I'll just ask Rosalind Kwan, who's with the Trade Commissioner Service, to speak very quickly, briefly about what we're doing to find other markets to help Canadian exporters.
Thank you, Arun, and thank you, Madam Chair and Honourable Member. Of course, as part of the trade diversification strategy, the Trade Commissioner Service works very hard to help Canadian companies, including those in the forest industry, who are so vital to our economy, to be able to look at markets, whether it's in the US or around the world, to bring all the opportunities that they could tap into and link them up with these opportunities. And in that regard, of course, we have the established traditional products, but of course, as you may have heard, we also help the Canadian forest industry companies tap into the innovative side of bio-based and wood-based products for markets around the world, including in Europe, in Asia, and in the United States.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Madam Chair, again, through you to either of the witnesses. So it's been roughly 18 months since I sat on international trade, and basically we were told, don't worry about it. Leave it out of Kuzma, we're going to get a deal done. And I understand from either colleagues, it's been since the early 80s. And I'm not here to throw blame. I'm here to get a job done. And I'm wondering, just the final question, please, through you, Madam Chair, to our witnesses. When was the last time that government officials actually sat at the table with our U.S. government officials, and I don't mean politicians, to kind of hash this out and give direction back, if I could please get that answer?
Thank you very much for that question, Honourable Member. Madam Chair, I think Canada has been very clear, right from the Prime Minister to the Minister to senior officials, that Canada is always open to having discussions to settle the softwood lumber issue. We've made this very, very clear to them. The Minister last raised softwood lumber, I think, when she had the Free Trade Commission meeting with Ambassador Tai about 2 weeks ago, and I understand the Prime Minister has made this very, very clear in meetings with President Biden. So the avenues of discussion are always open, and we welcome the United States to join us in a discussion to settle this dispute.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Great to have you back, Mr. Lewis.